Alright, alright. What's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, I'm taking a look at Litecoin, LTC, against USDT on the Binance chart. I'm going to be taking a look at the technical aspects of price action moving forward, some short and midterm key levels I believe price will interact with. Uh, Jumping right into it, we have a pretty aggressive uptrend here, lots of volume coming in, buyer pressure coming out of accumulation between kind of dips of 43 and $50 back in September and October of 2020. You've been rallying aggressively since that breakout in the 20th of October. We're up 333% currently, interacting with a key support level here. We're consolidating in a kind of key pattern. During this pump, we have these sort of 30% pullbacks and rejections from key levels and key swing highs. Then we consolidate for several weeks, almost a month. Then we pump good 156% over the course of the month there. Have another 38% rejection from that swing high. We consolidated downward for kind of roughly over a month. Then we broke, pumped 87% to the most recent kind of swing high here. Now, we appear to be coming out of consolidation that we've been in for almost 2 months. It'll be 2 months in like a week or so. Now, we've fallen from this it's pretty significant ascending kind of trend line here that we've been respecting since October of 2020, end of October there. That's just kind of been the trend line we've been interacting with, giving us support along its sort of uptrend here, and bullish momentum seems to be exhausting in the short term. We seem to be interacting, I believe, with this sort of descending trend line. Perhaps kind of something like that. Closing above this trend line would be far more short-term bullish and be confirmation of the breakout, and we can kind of continue upward movement, continue the uptrend. But a very aggressive amount of upward movement in a relatively short amount of time. So we do need some consolidation, reaccumulation to cool off, to for traders to reaccumulate and kind of establish where the trend is going. Seems to be trading in this key pattern. I wouldn't be surprised if we respect this kind of descending trend line downward, and we sort of fall below it, and so we interact with the $178, $180 level again before breaking out and kind of furthering the uptrend. But I believe if we were to close under this kind of 176, 175 sort of support here, that would be more bearish, and a different analysis would come into play. When we consider EngineeringRobo, we have a new perspective. We have the moon buy for cloud buy coming in as we broke the significant resistance back in October there when the uptrend kind of started. We had all these sell signals come into play as we had that big rejection off of that key level. Traders bought that up, reaccumulated over the course of those weeks there. Buy for early bird came back in. Early bird coming in during the consolidation, nearing a swing high during that consolidation period. Still, that was a good level you could have entered. Buy for early bird comes in, we pump, super sell, big sell off, retracement, sell for, bearish consolidation, but quickly bought up. The bullishness of Litecoin was still very apparent. Super buy early bird yet again, buy for coming back in, we pump, heavy sell offs. As traders take profit at these key levels, we're having very significant pullbacks. 36% rejection from the swing high there at $246. Big sell-off. We have the early bird coming in yet again during reaccumulation. Early bird coming back in. We now even have the buy for after the super sell and the sell 2, sell 3, sell 4, all these sell signals, big sell off there, were reaccumulating, and the buy 4 is now returned. This leads me to suspect a break upward. Um, you know, honestly, I feel like a break upward is pending, but some more sideways could be expected. Some downside, some sideways, would be healthy still, would even further support the uptrend. If we were to come down and kind of more gradually sort of come up like that, that would be just as bullish long term. But closing above this ascending trend line here, like even if we were to kind of draw from there, kind of closing above this trend line in any kind of manner, closing above 200, 205, 210, closing in that range, I believe is more short-term bullish and would lead to the uptrend continuing far quicker than we expect. If we consider Litecoin against the price of Bitcoin, currently we are below this 200 moving average here, interacting with a kind of low Fibonacci level, sort of bottom, suggesting that we're bottoming out kind of here. We're going to be approaching resistance. EngineeringRobo's resistance is present. Support and resistance lines are these yellow lines here. Fibonacci levels are these blue lines here. White lines are support levels that I've drawn. We have the sell 4 present. So we are kind of still in bearish accumulation against the price of Bitcoin, but with Bitcoin being so sideways lately, this might be a chance for us to gain against Bitcoin and kind of see where we can go, if we can break kind of above this 3,700 Satoshi kind of level there. Closing above that range would be more long-term bullish, but it will take, I believe, some fighting to get through it. Significant resistance, I believe, will be around this 0.786 Fibonacci level that interacts with a drawn support line and EngineeringRobo's support and resistance line. That seems like a significant level that we're going to interact with, and we could face rejection off of to perhaps find further support along the 200 moving average. Now, returning to Litecoin against the price of the US dollar, relatively, return on these Fibonacci levels and the fear and FOMO zone by, I believe, some key levels that we need to kind of hold and that we could interact with in the short term are going to be below $240, $247 kind of there, and above kind of $200. I believe this could be a key range that we could see some price action in before kind of closing above and kind of furthering the uptrend relatively. But this does seem to be significant resistance at that level there. But the buy 4 and early bird coming into play does suggest a bullish break upward. But some momentum could change at any moment, and some bearish consolidation would still be long-term bullish, but short-term bullish consolidation, I believe, would look kind of somewhat like this. The more we close above $200, the more we solidify these kind of round levels like 210, 220, the sooner we can interact with the probably the most significant level there is going to be the 250, as we're finding resistance around 247. $250, I believe, is going to be the next key significant round level we're going to have to establish before we can perhaps interact with this FOMO zone. FOMO zone all the way up here around $400 at the moment. As price action changes and accumulates, the FOMO zone will gradually change with it. So far, the FOMO won't kick in till about $400, and a $400 Litecoin is not very far-fetched at this point in time. With all this kind of bullishness suggested by the volume in the buy pressure here, we came out of accumulation in the fear zone between September and the October-November kind of significant sort of consolidation there around swing lows of $42 and kind of $50 there. We consolidated in that range. If you purchased within these fear zones, say you bought the final dip there around $60, $58, and you traded up until now, you're up 245% since November of 2020. You've seen over 300% if you sold at that swing high there. If you trade all the way to the FOMO zone, you'll be up 600% roughly, perhaps give or take, depending on where the FOMO zone is by the time we interact with that price there. But the fear and FOMO zone are more for long-term traders. In the short term, Fibonacci levels and support and resistance, I believe, are pretty key indicators for price action. Now, thank you for tuning in to my analysis. Look out for the breakout here as we're consolidating in a very key pattern. We got to be we're approaching a breakout here pretty soon. Interaction with this descending trend line, in my opinion, if we get rejected from it, we could just kind of follow down it. We could easily kind of see something like this. And this would be, in my opinion, just as bullish, but that would be more kind of like longer-ish term, gradual sort of reaccumulation as we establish support and see if we can gain against Bitcoin in its indecisive, volatile current state. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Check out EngineeringRobo, free, link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Follow all the social media down in the links below. And tune in to the next one.